I gotta be honest, guys. This video might be a little bit difficult for me to make, and that's because I'll be having to relive all of my worst Veve decisions and my biggest Veve regrets. But my goal for this video, what I'm hoping that you can pull away from it, is that these regrets, these decisions are not for nothing. And I want you guys to learn from what I did wrong. And even if it's not the exact same thing, you can't go back in the past and prices have changed, but hopefully you can take the overall lessons, the overall themes, and apply it as we move forward and as the Veve and NFT landscape changes. And per usual, you guys know the drill. This is not financial advice and will never be financial advice. So in this video, I'll be going over my top 5 biggest Veve regrets. Some are specific, I should have bought this collectible but I didn't, and some are more broad, kind of vague. And you guys will see what I mean, and we'll get straight into the list. So for number 1, I'll start with the mistake that I think really cost me a lot of capital and a lot of early advantage. And that is that I was not flipping for the longest time. And I'll tell you guys why, okay? When I first came across Veve, it was like nothing I'd ever seen before as far as crypto and NFT projects. I was still getting into NFTs, I was still new to it, but when I saw DC, NFLPA, Cartoon Network, that just blew my mind because I had never seen a crypto project have so many licenses, but also just the caliber of licenses that they had. And then now since then, we've seen magnitudes more bigger brands than that, such as Marvel and Disney. So as I was researching, as I was digging through some breadcrumbs, I just got more and more convinced that this project is a hidden gem, and I still feel that way. And so I thought, oh shoot, this project is gonna blow up at any second. I don't know how this has not been found out. I don't know why no one's talking about this, but I gotta go all in because all it's gonna take is one big YouTuber, one big news story, and the floodgates will open and everyone will be flooding into this app because this is the most clear-cut, clear and away, most promising project I've ever seen. And I still hold those beliefs, but just maybe I was a bit naive, but Veve did not blow up as fast, which is funny to say because the growth has been insane. But I just thought that the entire crypto community would just hop on this. And so for that reason, I was not flipping because I was too scared that if I sold one day, I would wake up and just the prices would be through the roof and I was just too nervous. And it's also because I don't have too much experience with flipping and trading. And it seemed like with crypto, whenever I would sell something, the price would shoot up and I just made a lot of bad decisions. And that's probably my fault because, I could have done a lot more research. I could have learned technical analysis better, but I just had the idea in my head that, okay, whenever I sell, it doesn't work out and I regret it. So let me just hang on and just hope for the best. Which, don't get me wrong, for a lot of people, that is a good strategy and that in the long term will pay off for you. But in my case, what I regret is that I was not flipping. I was not taking advantage of high prices, the highs and lows, the swings in the market. Pretty much whatever I could get on drops, I would hold. And then if there were some blue chips or collectibles that I wanted, I would save up money and then I would go out and buy them by loading up gems. So for that reason, I really feel like I missed out on a lot of early advantages. Don't get me wrong, I'm still so thankful for how early I am, and I recognize that I would not have that collection I have if it wasn't for being so early, but I think I could have capitalized a lot more, and that's my first regret. That is not flipping, that is only holding and only going for drops. And my second regret, which kind of goes hand in hand, I put these in order for a reason because they kind of build off each other, but my second regret is not stocking up on blue chips. Now, I mean, not stocking up as in getting duplicates, but also for a few, just not getting certain ones in general, even when I knew deep down that they were the best of the best, that they were blue chips, and I'll get into those. So I had known since March and April that Todd was the first ever on Veve, the first ever Batman NFT, first ever DC NFT, blah, blah, blah. You guys all know Todd, right? I knew all those things. I knew it'd be the most valuable. I knew all that, but I didn't buy more, and I spent a lot more money on, Cryptkins and Adventure Time and those kind of things. And, I don't regret, especially Adventure Time and the Cryptkins are good for master collector points, but that money that I put into those could have got me, 5, 10, however many Todds, for example, and I could now be flipping those, selling those, or at least if I wanted to, I could pull from a few and not have to give up my entire Todd or just not have one in general. I could pull some, if I sold 2, I'd have 20K. 20K can go so far on Veve. You can get so many more blue chips and really expand your collection. So once I got one blue chip, a few I have 2 but once I got 1 or 2, I kind of stopped and I was looking for what's next. What do I not have now? But if I would have really honed in on the best of the best, I could now be using that capital to redistribute my gems into new things that have come out that I've been unable to get. And that is the perfect segue into number 3, and that is I put too much weight in the Master Collector program. And because I put so much weight into the Master Collector program is part of the reason that I didn't stock up on blue chips, because I was chasing sets, I was trying to get as many as I could, and that's because I knew, or I thought, that once the Master Collector program came out, sets would be a lot more valuable. People would see, okay, if I hold this many sets, I get this, and people would be a lot less willing to sell for cheap, that kind of thing. And I feel like I was onto something, but with how slowly it all got rolled out, and it's still, we have an article, but we really don't know when the actual program with utility is going to be implemented. So I could have really focused a lot of my attention on certain blue chip collectibles instead of trying to get every single set, no matter how unpopular, no matter how small the IP was that went along with it. But with that being said, I'm not holding out hope for the Master Collector program, and that is because as we move to the raffle system for drops, it'll be completely random. And I understand that this is more fair, and I agree that at some point we had to move to this system. This is the most equitable way. It's not fair that if you live in a certain location, or if you have a faster phone or better internet connection, whatever, that you have an advantage. So I do understand that, but now that it's completely random and the barrier of entry is a lot less, there will be way more people going for it, and the odds of us getting something will be so much lower. So if you ever want to get a drop, I have a feeling that you will need those Master Collector points to give yourself extra raffle tickets into the drop raffle, that you will need that to really have any kind of success getting blue chip drops for retail price. So don't get me wrong, I'm still holding a lot of sets, but I really narrowed it down to full sets and also popular IP. So I kind of have the best of both worlds. And plus the fact that all the points are retroactive means that I've been racking up tons of points over the months that I've had so many sets just sitting in my account. Now on to regret number 4. This is a little bit contradicting because I just said I went too hard on sets, but there is one set that I did not get that I'm kicking myself for. And another example of I did not capitalize on being so early, and that is that although I have Todd, I do not have the entire season 1 Batman Black and White series, which is also the first ever set on Veve. The amount of gems that I'd spent on other collectibles and other sets, I definitely could have gotten this set at some point if I was just focused and saved up gems or whatever, just put gems in different places. I definitely could have gotten this set, especially when Risso was around 2k. But like I said earlier, I never had that many gems just sitting in my account. I never was stacking, flipping, so anything I wanted to buy, I had to be willing to spend at once. And just for extra context, I'm a college student who works part-time, so it's not like it's that easy for me to just go, oh, let me pull from my savings, let me pull from my 401k, or let me pick up extra, overtime or whatever. So I don't have an excess amount of cash sitting there at once to really overextend and go out for something that was already expensive. But similarly to how I didn't stock up on more Todds, even though I knew how valuable it was, I did not go hard for this first set despite knowing how valuable it was. So that's a big regret, because now Todd and Risso, they're just through the roof, and this set is really unattainable unless I sell one of my other blue chips, which at this point I'm not that willing to give up that much more. I've really whittled down my collection to best of the best, and I'm kind of running out of capital to spend, which all these regrets are kind of culminating, they're catching up to me. But again, I'm still so thankful for what I have. But man, the first ever set on Veve, it was right there. I could have had it. I really could have. But the past is the past, and I'm not holding out hope for me ever getting it again. I still think it's possible. Get a lucky break, something else shoots up. You can never buy with Ecomi or ETH or something. Maybe I'll have a chance down the line if I could leverage some crypto. We'll see how it plays out. But that leads me to my 5th and final. Well, I have a lot of regrets, but for this video, my 5th and final regret, and that is the fact that I did not buy Secret Rare Spider-Man when I saw him with my own 2 eyes at 1.2k. I know that was the lowest of the low. I'm not sure how long he actually hovered at 1.2k, but I know for a fact for a while he was around 2k. And on drop day, I spent 900 gems on the ultra rare, albeit sub 1000, but sub 1000 ultra rare, And then just like a week or two later, because of it was Marvel month and there were drops dang near every day, so there was a gem squeeze for the entire month, and Secret Rare Spider-Man was the first drop, and ever since then he's kept dropping. So I spent 900 on the ultra rare, when if I would have waited a couple more weeks, I could have gotten the secret rare for just a couple $100 more. And I think we all know the price difference between ultra rare and secret rare. But again, I'm still very, very thankful to have the ultra rare. I don't want you guys to think that I'm ungrateful and that if I don't have every single thing that I wanted, then I'm just pissed off. No, just, you know, things to learn from, and, you know, I really apply these things later on. For example, I took the regret and the sadness of not buying Secret Rare Spider-Man when I knew how valuable it was, first ever Marvel drop, and I harnessed it and placed it directly into Disney's Golden Moments when they first came out, the first collection of them. And right when they hit the market, or, you know, soon thereafter, I was kind of monitoring the prices. I made sure no matter what the price was, you know, within reason, I was gonna buy it, because I was not gonna miss out on the chance to get the first Disney set when I already missed the first Marvel set. And so that very, very, very much paid off for me. I recently put out a tweet kind of giving a little insight into how well I did on those investments. And keep in mind that what I showed was not like, none were on the drop. They were all in the secondary market. And that's what's crazy about Veve, is that even if you don't land a drop, if you have the capital to, you know, pay a few hundred gems here or there, you can really, really sometimes hit the mark and just hit the jackpot and have a collectible blow up. So there's an example of how I used that lesson, I used that regret, and I turned it into something better. And, you know, I got super, super, super lucky. I was able to get Walt on the drop. So it turned out that I was able to finish the entire set, when in my head I was planning, okay, I'll get what I can, but I know Walt will probably be out of reach for me. But that was one of the few I actually got on the drop. And so it all really, really came together. And so honestly, I'm a little bit happy that I missed out on Secret Rare Spider-Man, because I don't think I would have had that motivation. I wouldn't have lit that fire under me to I don't know what that was. I lit the fire under me to, I'm sorry, I can't focus, hold on. I lit the fire under me to go out and just go crazy for these golden moments and not regret the chance to sit on my hands and miss the opportunity. So there it is, 5 of my biggest regrets on Veve. Hopefully you guys could learn something, and let me know what your guys' biggest regrets are down in the comments. I'm really curious. We all have some. So I'll wrap it up here. I really appreciate you guys watching. If you enjoyed, maybe like, comment, subscribe. Anything helps. As always, this has been NFT Flenny. I'll catch you guys next time.